The Second Language Acquisition Project was an opportunity for students to identify how they learn their first native language and how that's similar or different to how they learn and acquire a second language.
I'm Lisa, and this is my SLA project, SLA by Stickman. SLA stands for Second Language Acquisition, which is basically how we acquire a second language. But how do we acquire language in the first place? It all starts out from when we're babies. When you're a baby, you're always listening to all the interesting sounds around you. Even before you're born, you're listening to sounds around you. But what would happen if babies weren't around any sort of sound or language at all? Babies have a critical period, which is before they're 6 to 12 months old. If they do not hear any language or not around any language, they will have no fundamentals for learning and struggle a lot trying to learn any sort of language. But how can you tell a baby is focusing? When a baby is focusing, it will chew on its pacifier very, very quickly. And this is called high amplitude sucking. Another very interesting thing babies do is they can figure out word rules. For example, if they have one ice cream cone and then they have multiple ice cream cones, then they'll know to add an S to the end to make it plural. But how do we learn a second language? Learning a second language is supposed to be much easier than learning a first language. It's also supposed to be easier to learn a second language as a kid than it is as an adult. One of the big things that we use when we're learning a second language is we find the cognates, or the words that look similar to our original language. This is called language transfer. Now it's time for some reflection. How can we learn and work on French outside of the classroom? A couple of things we can do is listen to music in French, watch TV in French, read French, or even go to a French restaurant or a place where you can speak French to people around you. How do we use SLA when learning language? We use language transfer a lot. We'll figure out the words that are cognates or that we can recognize from English, and then we'll figure out the words that we already know what they mean in French. Then we can figure out what it means. For example, we know salade looks exactly like salad, so we know that means salad. And we already know je n'aime pas means I don't like. So we know that this sentence means I don't like salad. What can we do to be successful in class? A couple things we can do is we can study or work on French in our free time. We can try to speak French as much as possible in class, and we can make sure we're paying attention and ready to learn. A couple of my personal goals this year that I would like to work on is to have a full conversation in French, read a French children's book, and go to a French restaurant and order in French. Something interesting I like to say as my slogan is language learning lets you look through another person's lenses. I hope you enjoyed my project.